Pacific Hardwood is the nation's leading supplier of custom hardwood flooring. We manufacture over 3 million square feet of solid and engineered flooring annually in our state-of-the-art 3-acre manufacturing center. With industry-best lead times, quality, and service, Pacific Hardwood is here to service all of your flooring and accessory needs. Take a virtual factory tour at pacifichardwood.com. Pacific Hardwood, proudly made in the USA.
It's all about the great outdoors today, from adventure to environmentally friendly production. I'm Ashley Jacobs, and this is the Localist SD. Made in the USA. This is the world's largest manufacturer of hardwood flooring, and it's right here in Southern California. You are inside Pacific Hardwood, and they are environmentally friendly, creating floors for custom jobs. We are at Pacific Hardwood, and talk about made in the USA. This company doesn't get more American than this, Robert. You are producing, manufacturing, selling wood right here. Let's talk a little bit about the company first. Pacific Hardwood's been around since 1986.
Yeah, it's been here since 1986. It started as just a lumberyard. So the previous owner would just bring in wood and sell it to other customers. And then throughout the 90s and early 2000s, we made solid wood flooring and just some basic wood products. And then in 2006, the engineered flooring factory was built, and it was the first and one of the largest still in the United States. So we're really proud to make everything in the US. I'm a really big believer in creating jobs here in the United States. I get a kick out of, helping people. There's not a lot of manufacturing jobs left anymore. So we really get a lot of pride out of what we do here.
I know you love being able to create jobs. It's important for individuals and our community as a whole, but also in the long run, the customer. How are keeping jobs local and materials local really benefiting the buyers here?
Yeah, so any of your viewers that have remodeled a home in the last 3 years, I'm sure have seen just huge delays from everything from furniture to appliances to lighting. We don't have that problem here because everything we do is here. So it's fully vertically integrated. So by having complete control of the supply chain, we're not dependent upon ocean freight going through the roof. Port congestion and delays. If you've been out the coast of Southern California, you'll see freight containers all the way down from Long Beach to almost down near San Diego, waiting to get unloaded. So we've got everything here. You can see some of it behind you, and we're able to turn and burn on product in as little as 7 to 10 days.
Oh, you hear that? Guys at home, no excuses. If wifey wants to redo the house, it can be done on budget and quickly. And speaking of everything being stored here, this property is huge. Walk us through what's all stored here and happening.
Yeah, so we're a 3.5 acre facility. So we're outside here in what's called the rough yard. So we bring our wood in mostly from the Appalachian states and up near the Canadian border. The trees there are much older in growth, so they produce a more aesthetic, beautiful look. And they're also from sustainable forests. So we're really big on making sure we only buy from vendors that take care of the environment and make sure they're doing things the right way. And then out here, we also pre-process the wood before we send it into the factory. So about 2/3 of our property is really just the material handling, bringing stuff into inventory and getting it ready for production. And then we have a 40,000 square foot warehouse where we convert the wood into flooring, and it's very automated. So it's more of a European style manufacturing center where we turn the raw materials into a finished product in about 8 minutes.
I found a lot of people have always liked to support made in America products, but they weren't as competitive. It used to be very expensive to do that. How have made in America companies kind of changed since the pandemic?
Sure. Well, there's still some challenges here, right? Because in the United States, we've got a lot of environmental regulations. Energy is expensive. Cost of labor is very expensive. But if you do things the right way and focus on efficiency and productivity, that's just really important. So first, you've got to run a company well and do it the right way. But on top of that, you see the cost of gas and the price of oil. We don't have to worry about bringing things across the ocean or flying things in from Asia. So that has reduced the competitive advantage that some of the foreign countries have had. So because we're doing everything locally and domestically, we're not as sensitive to the price changes that have gone on with transportation and logistics.
All right, well, since we are sitting here where we have a great view of all the property, it's got to be surreal for you to sit here and soak in all you've done and the jobs you've created, employees you've supported. How does it feel to own this?
Well, it feels great, but I definitely don't do it by myself. So we've got a great team. We really don't have much turnover here. We try to really take care of everybody that comes in here. We pay for 100% of their health care. We fund a profit sharing plan every year, and all of our employees make a living wage or above. So that lack of turnover creates a lot of emotional investment and engagement in the business. So this is not something I could have done myself. You know, tripling a business in 2 years is, no matter how good you think you are, you're not going to be able to do that as a solopreneur, so to speak. So I've got a great team, and I'm fortunate to have them.
All right, well, if TV doesn't work out for me, I want to come work for you.
You got it.
Sounds like a great place to work. I think I can learn how to work with some lumber. I would love to talk with you all day, but you do have to run your company. Where can people get more information?
You can check us out at pacifichardwood.com or follow us on Instagram at Pacific Hardwood.
All right, Robert, thank you.
Thank you.
Still ahead on the Localist SD Outdoor Outreach, the local organization providing adventures like kayaking and rock climbing for kids when we come back. So cool, and looking at it being made is so cool to kind of get that behind the curtain look at how your team is making it, and every job you do is custom.
Yeah, so everything's custom. So we do 3 to 4 million square feet a year, but we do it one job at a time. So we don't have any finished good inventory, so our customers can come up with any specification they'd like. Any width, any length, any species, any color. But instead of it taking 3 or 4 months, like most other companies or most other items you would deal with, like curtains or furniture, etc., we're able to do that in as little as 1 to 2 weeks in many cases.
Wow. Robert, it has been so fun getting a tour of Pacific Hardwood, and right now we're in the engineered flooring factory. It's so cool because it's sustainable.
Yeah, everything we do here, we drive sustainability through. So we buy all of our lumber from sustainable forests. And then inside, our adhesive doesn't have any VOCs or volatile organic compounds. Other people do not, really hone in on the environmental consciousness that we try to do here. What's most exciting with engineered flooring is we're able to take one piece of lumber and get 3, 4, or 5 pieces of usable wood out of it to put in a floor. So in the old days, when you had a solid floor, if you wanted 5 pieces of flooring, you had to use 5 pieces of lumber. Now we can use 1 or 2 pieces of lumber to accomplish the same thing, so it spreads out the resource over a wider base.
It's so cool, and looking at it being made is so cool to kind of get that behind the curtain look at how your team is making it, and every job you do is custom.
Yeah, so everything's custom. So we do 3 to 4 million square feet a year, but we do it one job at a time. So we don't have any finished good inventory, so our customers can come up with any specification they'd like. Any width, any length, any species, any color. But instead of it taking 3 or 4 months, like most other companies or most other items you would deal with, like curtains or furniture, etc., we're able to do that in as little as 1 to 2 weeks in many cases.
Wow, it's so cool. And your flooring is really designed to last. So let's kind of talk about the longevity of the floors once they're in someone's home.
Yeah, so one thing that drives me nuts right now is there's this push towards what's called LVT, which is luxury vinyl. And I can't deny it looks good, but if you think about it, there's no way to change the color. If it gets damaged, there's no way to fix it. And when you go to tear it out, the average person only stays in their house for about 7 years. When you go to tear that out, it's really just unrecyclable garbage. With our floors, they can be refinished 3, 4, or even 5 times. So we have 60-year floors, 80-year floors, and 100-year floors. So when you buy something from us and you put it in your house, it's really made to last, and it'll be there for the life of the home.
On our show, we love introducing local companies like yours to our viewers because we love supporting local businesses. So when it comes to things being made here in the USA, interestingly, after the pandemic, you have become really competitive, and traditionally that wasn't the case for companies here.
Yeah, as I mentioned outside, the cost of freight has just gone through the roof. So even 3 years ago, you could bring in nice flooring from Europe at a price that was cheaper than I could make it here, because it's very expensive to do business in the United States and in California in general. But freight has gone up so much that that advantage has disappeared for foreign competitors. And then on top of that, we really invest in what we call lean manufacturing. So that's a Japanese manufacturing methodology. So if you remember in the 80s and 90s when Toyota and Honda came in and really started dominating the market, they did it by focusing on sustainable and repeatable practices that drove up quality and drove down costs. So everything here is really done with a laser keen focus on how do we be as efficient and productive as possible while taking care of our employees. So as I mentioned, we fund 100% of their healthcare. We have a profit sharing plan. And then employees, the way they can earn more money is to learn more skills within the factory. So what I always say is I don't want people who want a job. I want people that want a career. So even at the factory level, from the janitor up to the executives in the company, it's really about how can they grow and develop. So we make that very visual, and everything that they learn translates into a certain amount of compensation that they receive on top of what they're making now.
It's so cool to see you be able to support your employees like that, because unfortunately throughout the pandemic, a lot of companies had to close or make cuts. So the fact that you grew is really impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to take all the credit for that. Some of that is that remodeling and home building has gone through the roof. But I do think, we love partnering with you guys. For instance, we've tried to create strategic partnerships and outreach within the community because people didn't really know who we were. So when I bought the company 2.5 years ago, it was still a fairly small business. And we're really working on how do we reach out to folks and let us know that we're here, we're local, and we're ready to service our customers.
Okay, and certainly one way by doing that is to give you a call or visit your website. So what do you recommend is the best way for people to get in touch with you and be in the know when it comes to this sustainable flooring?
Yeah, if anyone wants to learn more, if they go to our website, pacifichardwood.com, they can take a virtual factory tour. So right on the homepage, there's a video. It'll take you through kind of our technology and what we do. You can see some of our products and offerings. And then if you want to see what's going on a more detailed basis, we do regular Instagram posts. You can go at Pacific Hardwood and you'll see our latest projects and who we're partnering with.